Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Laura Shafrina. My matric number is 253391.
My name is Aizana Jiha binti Amazan 257084.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shazin binti Azzain. Matric number 257179.
I will be explaining about the history of Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu is the management guru and was regarded as the father of Eastern, known as Sun Tzu, Sun Wu, and Sun Zi, which mean by master son. He was born on 544 BC and died on 426 BC at age 48 years old. The Art of War is an influential work of military strategy that has affected Western and East Asian philosophy and military thinking. The main aim of the war is not to win all the battles that was undertaken, but to subdue the opponents without a fight. The Art of War is divided into 13 chapters which cover different aspects of warfare from planning to diplomacy.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Shazin binti Azzain. Matric number 257179. So today I would like to explain about the application of Sun Tzu, the Art of War. So there are 4 applications in Sun Tzu, which is startup stage, growth stage, mature stage, and lastly is decline stage. So firstly, the startup stage, according to Sun Tzu, he who first occupies the field of battle to await the enemy will be rested, and he who comes later and hasten into the battle will be weary. In other words, the enemy should be shaped by you and not moved by him. So this speaks volume in the startup stage of businesses. Establishing the viability of a business is the primary objective during the startup stage. So this is the stage that needs resource deployment and structuring skills to support the business objective, obtaining of financial resources, and hiring as well as training the employees. So during this phase, the critical resources may be acquired by forging alliances with other players. So organization therefore need to be creative, flexible, and agile by adapting to various situations and competitive contexts. So for example, this is the product life cycle of Apple iPhone. The first stage is introduction stage, which is low sales, high cost per customer, financial losses, innovative customers, and few if any competitors. So this is the stage wherein a product is introduced to the market. Usually the prices are kept as low as possible to capture the maximum market share. However, this is only in the case of mass product. In the case of high-end product like Apple iPhone, the strategy used is completely different. This is in the introduction stage for product life cycle of Apple iPhone. The price is kept high so as to maintain the exclusivity of the ownership for iPhone. So iPhone users wouldn't prefer everyone owning an iPhone. That's why the price is kept so as to attract only a premium segment of an audience. So during the introduction phase, advertising, sales, and marketing costs are usually high. Coupled with low prices, this results in a period of negative profitability or loss for the company. So moving to the next stage, which is growth stage. So managing an organization that is preparing to glide itself into the growth stage requires enhanced managerial skills. This is because somewhere in the competitive environment, there will always be another business which is trying to capture one's market share. So Sun Tzu's famous statement says, know your enemy and know yourself. In 100 battles, you will never prevail. It is clearly explained that the importance of knowing one's strength and weakness. So in the growth stage, organization need to formalize their procedure and managerial hierarchical level to effectively manage the current process as well as overcoming the initial inadequacies or weakness. The hiring process and employment too will grow in tandem with the organization growth. So thus, it is in this phase that the managers of the organization sharpen their skills in building relationship with various stakeholders such as investors, shareholders, suppliers, creditors, and so on. So all these activities will allow the organization to mobilize and leverage its resources to achieve competitive advantage. Hence, by capitalizing their strengths and addressing their weaknesses, organization will be able to seize the opportunities and manage the threats in order to stay competitive in the business market. So in the growth stage of Apple iPhone, increasing sales, cost per customer fall, profit rise, increasing number of customers and more competitors. So by the time a product enters the growth phase, the audience has already started building a certain affinity towards it. So this is the time when product quality is maintained well so as to not let the audience down. So as far as marketing is concerned, firms start spending more money on marketing now in order to both reach out a wider audience as well as to become a top of the mind brand among the primary target group. So because of the product, its reviews and marketing activities, they still expected to pick up sharply in the growth stage. So in the case of Apple iPhone, every subsequent launch gets in some more sales and adds to the overall sales volume. So here, we are considering the iPhone as a whole. But if we will to delve deeper, we will realize that every iPhone model is at a different stage of product life cycle of Apple iPhone. So next is mature stage. So mature stage, organization approaching mature stage will have to aggressively pursue innovative strategies in order to maintain their competitive advantage. So this is also to mitigate the negative effect of the heightened effect of the competitors from the marketplace. Hence, one of the strategies would be to hire experienced human to hire experienced human resource to execute the innovative strategies. As such, in the mature stage, it is important for managers to orchestrate their resources to achieve a balance between innovation and efficiency. The organization in this phase may employ both exploration and exploitation strategies simultaneously. So in exploration strategy, the organization recognize the new strategy, the new technique to diversify the offering of their products or identify new market for the existing product. In exploration strategy, the organization puts in higher effort in increasing the efficiency in their existing operation. So, Sun Tzu recognizes this by saying that if one seeks to be victorious, he must modify his tactics according to the enemy situation. This means one should be able to not only anticipate but also being ready to ever adapting to the changing and volatile circumstances. So as we can see, the maturity stage of Apple iPhone is peak sales, cost per customer lowest, profit high, mass market, and stable number of competitors. So during this phase, the rate of increase in sales may decline, but the overall sales are maintained at a certain level. By this time, many competing products enter the market. Some of them may be genuinely good product, whereas some of them will be a replica of the iPhone own product. So currently, the mid generation of iPhones, such as the iPhone 8, will be in the maturity stage where sales have stabilized more or less. So last but not least is decline stage. So this stage will see organization making drastic decisions on their positions in the marketplace. So many organizations will resort to conserve their resources to ensure survivability. So this stage also will see some organizations actively divest some of their competencies and stick off to their core competencies as part of value creation for the organization. So, similarly, in the war zone, according to Sun Tzu, when the number of casualties begin to rise, the only other strategy will be then is to withdraw. So, he further says that should our force seems to be much weaker than of the enemies, then confrontation should be avoided, following which we will only end up being captured by the stronger force. So in business, investment, divestment are executed as part of their strategies to avoid losing strength along with the weakness. So from the above, conclusion can be drawn that just like application of strategies in the battlefield, strategic action and tactics are important to an organization at each stage of their product life cycle. So therefore, understanding the necessary needs and action plan to success in each stage of organization life cycle is important to sustain a competitive advantage for the organization. So as we can see, the decline stage in product life cycle of Apple iPhone, falling sales, cost per customer low, profit falls, customer base contract, and number of competitors fall. So by this time, the audience move on to the better things in life. They are no longer interested in the iPhone because they offer nothing new as compared to other products that are currently in the introduction or growth phase. So a product in the decline phase has become technologically up to date. So most common product lifecycle management tactics are implemented by brands to make the most out of their product during decline, including lowering price, removing after-sales support, to reduce marketing and personnel costs, or discontinuing the product.
Basically, Chapter 2, Waging War. Since the ideal strategy is whatever works best, it follows the implementation is a powerful component of the strategic plan because it takes the vision and strategy to the point of contact. The important thing is to get started to much time spent in planning. Can simultaneous planning and implementation, this can be as difficult as changing a tire while the car is moving. Plan must be shaped in relation to reality with the information learned from contact. Close examination of company with great reputation for long-range planning reveals they also focus on short-term gains. That is, they play for the championship one day at a time with consistent focus on long-range direction. In every endeavor, the abnormal is normal and uncertainty is certain. A contingency plan should be prepared to allow for the abnormal. The exercise of preparing the contingency plan yields insight into threats and opportunities. There are examples of fast-moving companies that won position in PCs and computer networking. Cycle time reduction and just-in-time system have become staple of leading-edge productivity system. A speed victory is indeed the main objective, and the value of time achieving this advantage involves both getting started quickly and rapidly attaining a position of strength. Building strength rapidly is clever advantage. The speed with which a marketing position is occupied is critical. Those who own a position early may need to expend less resources defending that position than those who come later and must try to occupy the position. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nolaura Shafrina. My metric number is 253391. Today I will give an explanation about 30 Principles The Art of War by Sun Tzu. First one, laying plans. Laying plans is a division of what the organization want to be and achieve must be determined with an awareness of reality. Vision are the vehicle that transport us across the boundary of current reality to the boundless hope of a future seemingly beyond our grasp. The more sophisticated the planning process becomes, the harder it is to introduce the flexibility that allow for changes in the situation. In rigid system, planning and obedience to the plan are regarded as the key to victory. Carefully laid plans rigorously implemented without division are regarded as the way to overcome the inevitable confusion. It is more important to outthink our enemy than outfit him, like an example. There are also 7 other considerations to compare with the enemy. This can be determined the outcome of the war. They are the moral influence of the rule over his subject, the capabilities of general, better ability to take advantage of weather terrains, who has better effective and efficient association of order, whose army is better equipped and larger, the training level of the army, the administration of reward and punishment. The final strategy is to pretend in order to deceive the enemy. Attack when he is least prepared. Plan well before attacking. If the odds are highly against you, wait for another time. Similarly, in business, in order to succeed, the company has to consider the following factor, which is the ability of the employer to motivate everyone to work towards the company goal, the capabilities of the manager to lead the team, the ability to adapt to government regulation and market condition, whether the business system of the company can be improved so that there will be increased efficiency, the technology available to the staff in order to improve productivity, the training given to staff and their level of skill acquired, lastly, the administration of reward and punishment. Fourthly, Chapter 4, Disposition of Military Strength. Sun Tzu Art of War are applied by different organizations. Hence, the concept like the need to build an invisible defense as a deterrent against any overly ambitious enemy is related in business strategy. The statement above, which apply in business world, simply means that to enhance our strength and be able to change and adapt to changing market nowadays. This is especially for the leader or top management who must have a prediction on future market trend so that the organization can grow and control the market only if the implementation is in the right timing. Future development and improvement are the most important element to let organization grow. For example, Apple has launched a few products in the market, such as iPhone, iPod, and iPad. Apple did very well in enhancing their strength in the market, which not just following the market trend. Apple also creating the trend which bring growth and profit to the organization. In business application, all products have their own life cycle. Moreover, creative, innovative, and continuous improvement enable origin product to continue his lifespan and sell. This indicates that all products will eventually be replaced. A firm must do some innovative changes on existing product to extend the product life cycle and increase number of customers. McDonald's did this by keep updating their menu. After a certain period, it will come out with new products, and this attract existing and new consumer too. The seasonal products such as Prosperity Burger that introduced during Chinese New Year only, and Grilled Chicken Burger that sold for limited period were the innovation of McDonald's. This stresses on the importance in taking initiative to prepare ourselves in battle. Those who not win must prepare their defense, while those who are capable of winning must strike first. Thirdly, Chapter 3, Attack by Stratagem. Organizations should know their strength and focus on their strength in order to win in the competition. At the same time, they should try to exploit competitor weakness and strength. Some principles must keep in mind are to yield the enemy does not use hard attack and to conquer other country does not use prolonged strategy. The principle to win in the battle is based on well-planned strategy and the understanding of our enemy. By direct attack on competitor weakness, it helps the organization to win the battle without causing injury. For example, Malaysia Airline ticket is pricey and this become a weakness for them. AirAsia use the weakness and provide low fare to people. As a result, AirAsia is able to attract a lot of people to purchase their ticket instead of Malaysia Airline. Besides, AirAsia also promote a 10-cent airfare to compete Malaysia Airline low fare promotion. In competitive market, every organization is facing uncertainty that nobody will always be a winner. They need to stay flexible to create a better life cycle. The above statement by Sun Tzu means that before entering to a new market, local culture need to be understood first. The customer needs then needs to be analyzed. The two factors are crucial success factor for organization. Meanwhile, the origin element are maintained there. Besides, organization need to know own core value in the market so that they can enter the market successfully. For example, KFC, which is the largest fast food chain in Malaysia and Brunei, serving world-famous original recipe fried chicken, which contains secret blend of 11 herbs and spice. Apart from serving finger-licking good food, KFC continuously aim for high quality and are committed to ensure food safety by stringent control to maintain their standard.
So next, I will explain about chapter 5, which is forces or use of energy. So when forces are concentrated to attack the energy, it must be like a solid stone hurled against egg. So this quotation is applying the principle of using strength to strike weaknesses. Firstly, creative and innovation is one of the important principle to compete with competitors in the market. So, for instance, there are many challenges and competitors in the market of electronic device, such as Toshiba, Sony, Mitsubishi, and so on. So, however, Toshiba is the more innovative one and spend more time in research and develop the technologies. As a result, a lot of technologies that were the first in the world or the first in Japan, such as the first Japanese word processor, the first 3D LCD TV which not requiring dedicated glasses in the world and others. So secondly, the organization should change their form, culture, structure, product cost, or product base, or others when there are any changes happen. For instance, Toshiba pioneered the development of electrical equipment in Japan. However, the organization entered a new field which medical equipment and radio devices when the Great Kanto earthquake happened in 1923. So, many employees of the organization were lost in this earthquake. Therefore, the vice president of the organization decided to start new field. So, thirdly, changes have to follow the trend. If an organization can create the trend, the possibility to win all will be high. For example, more and more multimedia, such as movie, required 3D effects nowadays. So hence, Toshiba invents the first 3D LCD TV, which not requiring dedicated glasses in the world. So other competitors such as Sony also manufacture the 3D LCD TV to occupy the market. So in summary, Toshiba creates the trend of 3D LCD TV and win the market due to requiring dedicated glasses will not be worn. So lastly, the organization should have to analyze their strengths and weaknesses all the time when compete with others. For instance, Toshiba has established the Corporate Research and Development Center to improve production technology, maintain high quality, and create new products. So, the Corporate Research and Development Center can analyze the strengths and weakness of the organization in order to manufacture higher quality products, and hence the product of the organization can be competed with other organizations in the intense market. So So as a result, higher profits can be obtained by the organization. So moving to the next chapter, which is chapter 6, weaknesses and strengths. So first, in the chapter 6, in the art of war, Sun Tzu provides some interesting and fascinating concepts that are relevant in business world. For example, concept like first mover advantage, to dictate rather than to be dictated, to achieve relative superiority, to be flexible and to manage change and uncertainty. So, in addition, Sun Tzu also explained how opportunities come from the opening in the environment caused by the relative weakness of the competitors in a given area. So, Sun Tzu said, those who are arrived first at the battleground will have sufficient time to rest and prepare against the enemy. And those who arrive late at the battleground will have to rush into the battle when they are already exhausted. So, according to this quotation, Sun Tzu has pointed out the meaning of early bird that the firstborn. So in business world, it can be meant by it is better to be first than it's to be better. In current market, there is no more better for the product, but the perception of the product itself. So besides, the timing of launching the product is so important. By being the first to enter the market, a product or services, a firm may need to capture the greatest market share. So Toshiba created the first mover category when its company produced the Japan's first electrical fan, refrigerators, washing machine, electrical vacuum cleaner, and electric rice cooker. So this allowed Toshiba to strengthen their position in the market and handle the competitors from rivals after that. So being the world's ninth largest integrated manufacturer of electric and electronic equipment, Toshiba already have support from their loyal customer, and they are already well known when their rival enter the market. So in the business world, we always set for highly innovation to create the marketing advantages. So we just continue produce product which are strengthened and will gain profit in the market, but help to do some innovation to improve on it in order to enhance its position in the market. So for low profile product, we may make some changes and let it enter a new product, but must in a niche market. However, the concept we should keep in mind is that we should understand very well about the competitor's product strengths and weaknesses so that we can attack well as developing pioneering technology for its own products. So Toshiba invented the DVD, the TFT screen, and the lithium-ion battery, in addition to designing the graphic processor for the PlayStation 2. So Toshiba demonstrating once again its position as a market innovator. The Toshiba embraced the market to digitally converge product for home and personal entertainment by launching the first notebook to offer instant of TV or DVD functionality. So next, chapter 7, which is military maneuvers. So Sun Tzu states that an army without sufficient food and grain will die. The quotation in business perspective means that profit is food and grain, which is the most important in the organization to survive. If an organization cannot obtain good profit and income, it will be difficult to survive in the market for a long period of time. Since the capital is the basic condition to start a business, the organizer should be ensured that financial holding is sufficient in order to operate their business and to use it for urgent matter. So if the organizer doesn't have the sufficient backup of capital for support the business, the organization may face bankrupt situation or merge with other organizations. So for example, Lehman Brothers Holding was a global financial services firm and was the fourth largest investment bank in USA before declaring bankruptcy in 2008. So the businesses of the organization include investment banking, equity and fixed income sales and trading, investment management, private equity, and private banking. However, the organization went bankrupt in 2008 due to the subprime mortgage crisis. So, in addition, malfeasance and short-selling allegations also caused the organization went bankrupt. The organization already had the financial problem initially, but the additions problem have happened one after another. So eventually the organizations did not have sufficient capital to cover the problems. Hence, the organization forced to declare bankrupt in 2008, and some business of the organization forced to sell all of the organizations such as Backlash. So in summary, money is the most important thing, most important property for organization to operate, maintain the business and help to cover some financial problems sometimes. So next is chapter 8, which is variation in tactics. Sun Tzu said, in war, the general receives the commands from the sovereign, collects his army and concentrates his force. When in difficult country, do not encamp. In country where high road intersect, join hands with the allies. Do not linger in dangerously isolated position. In harm situation, we must resort to stratagem. In desperate position, we must fight. There are roads which must be followed, armies which must be not attacked. Towns with such a British position which must not be contested, commands of the sub-region which must not be obeyed. So, the general will truthfully understand the advantages that accompany variation of tactic, knows how to handle this truth. The general who does not understand this may be well acquainted with the configuration of country, yet he will not be able to review. He will not able to turn his knowledge to practical account. So here, the art of war teaches us not to rely not only on the likelihood of enemies not coming, but on our own readiness to receive him, not on the chance of his not attacking, but rather on the fact that we have made our position unavailable. Okay, there are 5 dangerous faults which may affect a general, which is recklessness, cowardice, a hasty temper, delicacy of honor, which is sensitive to shame, and over solicitude for his men. So these are 5 besetting sins of the general ruinous to the conduct of war. When an army is overthrown and its leader slain, the cause will surely be found among these 5 dangerous faults.
So I will be continue on chapter 9, which is on the march. This chapter is explain about the position in business, our position in business. To build a strong position, we must determine what position you want in the business, who our customer, and how we are going to satisfy our customer. So it is our advantage to have a strong position. Okay, I will next explain about the chapter 10, which is terrain, means that your area of operation. Management by wandering around is essential to success. So managers wander around the department to manage the operation. So having a good leader is important in the organization. This chapter also explain about if you think you can fight among other business, you can fight with them, but it is your advantage to avoid bad situation. Okay, I will give example about the Walmart. Walmart think they can fight other businesses. Uh, they open Walmart, which the area has 306 other businesses. But after 2 years of open the Walmart, they made other businesses close. About 82 businesses closed during the 2 years. Okay, next I will explain about chapter 11, which is the 9 varieties of crown. This chapter explains the fundamental principle is to avoid what is strength and to attack what is weak. Business must give serious action to put competitors at disadvantage. This chapter teach us the concept of niching and segmentation are excellent opportunities for maximizing strengths. The businesses are advantage if they are focusing at a specific market. Okay, I will give example of Huawei. Huawei are launching their new product, which is a handphone with a good camera among other brands. So it is good for uh, people who want a low price phone with a good quality of camera. Okay, next chapter is chapter 12, which is attack by fire, which means by people who focus all their effort on tactical issues on short-term working. The overly salesperson is characterized those who concentrate on immediate sale. They offer they offer low prices with too much prices on advertising. Battles can be won by this tactic, but it is not too strategic and not stable for the businesses. Okay, I will give example of U-Mobile, which provide the best mobile services, cheapest, and thus they put the competitors behind them. Okay, I will explain about the benefit of the art of war. The first one is employee motivation. Sun Tzu said that treat your men as you would your own beloved sons, and they will follow you into the deepest valley. Means that mission, vision, and strategies in organization must be the personal mission for employee to achieve goals. Things like a raise, yearly bonus, and reward to recognition, such as promotion, can give motivation to the employee. The second one is situation appraiser. To understand and defeat your competition, you must do a very deep level of research and analysis. These statements means that you must know your enemy. Business must know competitors' strategies and plan in order to understand the environment. The third one is strategic planning. It stated that if one knows the place and the time of the coming battle, his troops can march 1,000 lines and fight on the field. This means that managers should have a high degree of flexibility to cope with uncertainty changing in the environment, to alter the strategies in order to be competitive. The fourth one is leadership. It stated that when orders are consistently trustworthy and observed, the relationship of a commander with his troops will be satisfactory. Means that leadership is more about developing vision and strategy than trying to motivate and inspire the subordinates to follow achieve them. In order to motivate the employees towards the greater height, business leaders need to lead with action, not just word.
The criticism of the art of war. Sun Tzu's work sailed briskly more than 2,000 years after it was written. Numerous publishers have versions of this book a sign that the text has reached the status of a classic. Both practicing manager and management scholars have long embraced the art of war. However, a critical reading of the text suggests that this book about military strategy might not be generalizable to the modern economic content by two issues emerge when considering its applicability for contemporary strategy. First, war is a poor metaphor for business primarily because war is at the best or a win-lose proposition. The objective of war is not to create value but to redistribute existing value. More often, war is a value-destroying activity. War as a metaphor for business activity is also problematic in that war does little to foster a continuing relationship between the two parties involved. Although many battles may occur during the course of war, war is best categorized as a one-time transaction. In contrast, a great amount of business activity involves continuing relationship between supplier and purchasers or employer and employees. A second issue when generalizing this book to the modern economic content is the centrality of deception in Sun Tzu writing. Sun Tzu gives his more absolute statement about warfare in the first chapter, stating all warfare is based on deception. Deception may well be the primary thesis of this book and has been noted as a central theme by the other management scholars. For example, both Tung and De Mente note the primary of war strategy, particularly deception, in their writing on strategic thinking in Asian economy. Deception is a rational strategy in a purely distributed one-time transaction like war. However, many business transactions are not one-time meeting, but part of ongoing relationship between a firm and its supplier or an employee and his or her employer. Furthermore, more and more businesses are finding success by creating integrative win-win transactions rather than pursuing distributive win-lose transactions. This focus on value-creating win-win activity is most likely driven by the continuing nature of the business relationship. A better set of principles for contemporary strategy may be found in Robert S. Lord Lamarck's book, The Evolution of Cooperation, as wrote research solution for the iterated prisoner dilemma and concluded among other things that clarity and honesty rather than deception is central to maximizing one outcome. Furthermore, Asrod demonstrated that those strategies that seek to maximize the social gain far better in the long run than more deceptive win-lose strategy. In a world characterized by one-time win-lose transaction, then the principle outlined in the art of war will prove valuable in formulating one strategy. However, in a world characterized by transaction focus on building win-win relationship, then Sun Tzu principle leave much to be desired.
So as conclusion, we can apply the 15 principle of Sun Tzu, the art of war, in our business. As we know, the 15 principle included the tactics and the tactics in business. So we can use it in order for us to achieve our goals and to maintain in the business market. Because what? Because in war, it is a way to avoid what is strong and to strike what is weak. And then the Sun Tzu, the art of war itself, it teaches us to extend far beyond the field of battle, because they are focused on finding the easiest way to achieve a specific goal. Sun Tzu itself, his approaches can be applied to everything from business goal and goal setting to weight loss and habit formation. So if you know both the enemy and yourself, you will fight 100 battles without danger of defeat. It means that if we know our enemy and we know ourselves, then we can maintain in our business and we can we know the strengths and weaknesses of our enemy. And war and competition have their role and regulation. Strategies should therefore have rules and regulations to follow and work under them as well. So throughout the art of war, Sun Tzu emphasized the critical role of people in determining the success of military warfare, and the same will apply to business. So if there is no confidence in winning, one should retreat at once. So reserving energy and resources for the next opportunity. As part of business war, the top management needs to formulate strategies in the understanding of both the favorable and unfavorable developments in the internal environment. So, as a conclusion, we can use this 13 principle. We can apply it in our daily life and also in business in order to maintain in the business market, and also to have a healthy competition with our competitor in the marketplace. Thank you.